You. Families are depending on them. Thank you for sharing what you can.
Right now at 6, a Pineville woman enters a plea in the kidnapping and murder of a pregnant Arkansas woman.
And our alert day continues through Thursday as we've got that chance for heat index values once again up to 115 degrees. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, high-speed broadband services may be on the way to rural parts of Kansas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's now Wednesday. We are, a day away from August the 1st.
Yes, we are.
And it is definitely been hot.
It has. Summer is flying by, but these temperatures make it seem like it's going on forever right now.
They certainly do, and these temperatures, unfortunately, are going to go on for what's going to seem like forever as well. We don't really have any significant relief from the heat for a while. We'll talk about the full forecast a little later. Not that I want to ruin your day, but you do need to know what to expect, and that's what I'm here for. Sometimes, though, I deliver good news. You know, we have nice temperatures or rain, something like that. But right now, I don't have any good news. We're going to start, though, with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We've been watching a thunderstorm complex. Take a look at it. It's kind of, if you've been with us since 5 this morning, then you know how this little complex out there has evolved. We had an individual cell north of El Dorado. It went severe, and then it was eaten up by redevelopment that took place behind it over North Wichita. It died out, but now we have a strong storm that's kind of reformed out of this, but as you can see, it's lifting off to the north and east. And as it continues its track up toward Emporia, other than a stray shower or two, it is otherwise going to completely miss our area. And any rain chances we have today, less than 10%. This is our lowest opportunity for rain, at least so far this week. So here's what we've got. We've got the excessive heat warnings across the bulk of the area. Once again, a number of these are set to expire this evening, and they'll be replaced with heat advisories. We'll see exactly how that pans out, but we're still looking at heat index values up to 115 degrees in the warning areas, and the current heat advisories, we're still looking at those heat index values of 105 to 110 degrees. As we head into the afternoon, again, partly mostly cloudy skies, maybe a stray shower or two. Honestly, though, that chance is less than 10%. The majority of us just hot, dry, and muggy once again. It's already feeling that way. We're at 80 in Joplin right now, 78 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, temperatures are again very unpleasant. We've got upper 70s to right around 80 degrees, and you factor in the humidity and the dew point, and we've got heat index values low to mid 80s at 6 o'clock in the morning. So again, an uncomfortable start to the day ahead of yet another uncomfortable day. Partly cloudy skies out there, temperatures hot once again, upper 90s, lower 100s, as if we needed the temperatures to be any higher, and that's going to again allow us for those heat index values up to 115 degrees across the area. So again, play it safe, stay hydrated, stay indoors if you can. We're going to talk more about this dangerous heat and how long it's going to stick around in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a plea in a horrific area kidnapping and murder case that drew national headlines. 44-year-old Amber Waterman of Pineville, Missouri, had been accused of kidnapping and killing an Arkansas woman in order to take her unborn child. Yesterday, Waterman pleaded guilty to 1 count of kidnapping resulting in death and 1 count of causing the death of a child in utero. The victim was Ashley Bush, and she was 31 weeks pregnant when she was lured to a meeting with her killer in Maysville, Arkansas, back in October of 2022. Waterman had contacted Bush through Facebook, offering the possibility of a job. After her disappearance, authorities responded to reports of a baby girl who was not breathing in the Pineville, Missouri area. The child died. Waterman first claimed she had given birth to the child, but later admitted it was Bush's baby. While searching Waterman's property, authorities found the burned remains of the mother. An autopsy indicated Bush had died of penetrating trauma of the torso, and the death was classified as a homicide. Waterman now faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison without parole for each death. Neosho police were called to help assist a car that had gotten stuck on a railroad yesterday evening. Officers found the car on the north end of town as it had become high-centered on the tracks. Not long after officers arrived, a train heading southbound approached. The driver was able to get out before the train struck the car and spun it off the tracks. No one was injured and all traffic was allowed to resume an hour later. Well, Joplin first responders were called to 32nd and Texas Avenue for a two-vehicle crash yesterday evening. One of the vehicles was making a turn onto 32nd Street when it was struck heading east. An older male was transported to Freeman West with severe injuries, and the investigation is ongoing at this time. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. More families in rural Kansas will have access to reliable internet. KOAM is a Kansas internet provider, and they received a $950,000 grant to provide broadband access in Allen and Coffee counties. It's intended to allow for telehealth, online education, and remote work in more rural communities.
Over 90% of an area that residents just do not have basic internet connectivity, which is very difficult to imagine, but nonetheless is a very serious problem in many of our rural communities.
SAFR expects Allen County to be connected to broadband by the middle of 2025. The first Thursday in August brings more than just the heat. It also signals the start of Marian Days. The annual Vietnamese Catholic event draws in tens of thousands of visitors to Carthage, Missouri. The event officially starts tomorrow, but organizers and hundreds of volunteers are already in town. Many of them choose to camp in tents in neighborhoods surrounding the campus of the Congregation of the Mother Co-Redemptrix. Others prefer an option with air conditioning, packaging hotels, and Airbnbs.
All the hotels in the 4 cities around here are packed. So they pack like April, since in the April 1st when they open up for people to reserve, that's when every hotel is packed.
Several Carthage residents open up their homes to visitors during Marian Days. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Meta has reached a record-breaking settlement with the state of Texas, totaling slightly over $1 billion. Plus, Vice President Kamala Harris held her biggest campaign rally to date in battleground state Georgia. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning. One of the world's biggest drink makers says sales are down for the first time since the pandemic. Diageo, the maker of Johnnie Walker Whiskey, Casamigos Tequila, and Guinness Beer, reported a 1.4% drop in sales over the last year. Tuesday, the CEO said the consumer environment continues to be challenging. Alcohol sales increased during the pandemic, but demand has since declined, and consumers are still dealing with high inflation and interest rates. The parent company of Facebook and Instagram has reached a record-breaking settlement with the state of Texas. Yesterday's $1.4 billion settlement stems from allegations that Meta had collected facial identification information on millions of users in the state. According to the lawsuit filed in 2022, Meta violated Texas state privacy laws by automatically tagging users' faces on its sites. The process was used through a feature called Tag Suggestions. Texas Attorney General said this agreement is the largest privacy settlement by a U.S. state. Meanwhile, Meta is currently facing more than a dozen lawsuits by the attorney generals of 45 states and the District of Columbia. Vice President Kamala Harris held her biggest campaign rally to date in battleground Georgia yesterday. Harris is set to name her vice presidential pick early next week. Today, former President Donald Trump is in Pennsylvania as he and his running mate, J.D. Vance, continue to throw barbs at Harris over the southern border. Leah Mishkin has more.
Vice President Kamala Harris took the stage before a packed house of thousands in Atlanta yesterday.
The momentum in this race is shifting. And there are signs that Donald Trump is feeling it.
Her first campaign stop in battleground Georgia as a 2024 presidential candidate featured star power and renewed enthusiasm among the state's Democratic voters.
I am excited that she's kind of reinvigorated the race.
It all comes as CBS News has learned that Harris is expected to name her running mate by Monday. Next week, Harris and her VP pick will crisscross the country, starting Tuesday with a rally in Philadelphia. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro is believed to be among the contenders.
I trust she will make that decision on her own terms when she is ready.
Out west in Nevada, Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance sharpened his attacks.
Kamala Harris's vision is open American borders and closed American factories.
A new Trump campaign ad also doubles down on slamming Harris over immigration.
She just lied.
The border is secure.
Harris hit back with her own ad bashing Trump's record.
Donald Trump blocked a bill to increase the number of Border Patrol agents.
Today, the vice president will speak at a historically black sorority event in Texas. Trump will attend the National Association of Black Journalists Conference in Chicago and then hold a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. Leah Mishkin, CBS News.
Senator J.D. Vance is also on the trail tomorrow with a fundraiser in California and a rally planned in Arizona. Meanwhile, we're learning more about the Democratic National Convention next month. Sources familiar with the planning say President Joe Biden is expected to give a primetime address on the first night of the convention. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're starting with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We've got a thunderstorm complex, unfortunately, off to our northwest, and it is moving northeast toward Emporia, so it's not expected to make much of an impact for us. But we'll keep an eye on it, see if it triggers a couple of pop-up showers. We are still dealing with dangerous heat as we have an alert day continuing today and tomorrow. Latest on that forecast when we come back.
A 7-year-old boy from Boston is gaining lots of attention for his classic hairstyle. He's competing in the National Mullet Championship while raising money for a good cause. Brianna Borghi has more on his mission.
It's a hairstyle years in the making.
I started growing it in 2020.
And he almost lost it.
They cut 4 inches off.
But now 7-year-old Brody Byrne hopes his long locks earn him the National Mullet Champ title.
Let's win this thing! Bring the title to Boston. Bring the title to Boston!
His mom, Tiffany, says he's the only kid from Boston competing, and she's behind him 100%.
I just don't like to do anything like halfway. So we're very invested in getting him out there.
Brody has already made it through the first round of online voting and hopes he can go all the way.
How can people support you?
By voting for me.
And fundraising.
Yeah, and donation.
The Mullet Showdown also supports Jared Allen's Homes for Wounded Warriors, and so far Brody has raised more than $1,500.
Everyone's been very supportive with shouting him out, reposting everything, and just getting the word out for votes.
And even if Brody doesn't take home the big title, the mullet is here to stay.
I'm never gonna get rid of my mullet.
Best of luck to Brody for a good cause and a pretty good head of hair. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, our alert day continues with dangerous heat across the area. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:20 now on this Wednesday morning. But starting with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. So we have this thunderstorm complex, some strong storms. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning outside of our area earlier this morning. It is lifting off to the north and to the east up toward Emporia, so just bringing some light showers into Greenwood County. However, what we're waiting for is to see if it is possible for this to trigger any additional pop-up showers or storms. And at least in the last several minutes, we're starting to see a few new showers developing across parts of Elk and Chautauqua County this morning. Nothing strong severe with that, obviously. It's just kind of getting underway, but we'll see whether or not this kind of pulls any of the extra energy out or if it's able to develop a few additional showers. If so, anything that would develop, as you can see, is lifting northeast. But then there's also the question of if it develops, will it last very long or will it die out before it makes it very far? So we'll keep an eye on that this morning. Overall, our rain chances today relatively low for the majority of the area. Keep in mind, this is a 15-county area, so our rain chances as a whole are less than 10% but at this point. But like I said, we'll keep an eye on that development. Future track heading into this afternoon showing again an opportunity for maybe 1 or 2 isolated showers, but not much expected out there. We have the alert day today and tomorrow due to the dangerous heat. Now we do start to see slightly better rain chances as we go into Thursday. A few thunderstorms in our northern counties, and this wave that it comes through could trigger some additional pop-up showers or storms as we head into the early afternoon, but then those will begin to fizzle out as we go into Friday. Yeah, not much more out there. Maybe some thunderstorms though Thursday night. I want to mention that there's some severe risk out to our west. We could see some of that complex clip parts of northeastern Oklahoma into our area, but again, unfortunately, the majority of us at this point looking to remain dry and hot, and that'll continue to be the trend as we roll into our Friday as well. Excessive heat warnings again for the majority of the area through at least this evening. We'll see if any of these get extended, but we're still looking at heat index values today up to 115 degrees. We're talking again dangerous, potentially deadly heat. And the heat advisories, these we could see heat index values 105 to 110. Now for some of these excessive heat warnings that are set to expire this evening, they'll be replaced by heat advisories heading into tomorrow. So again, we'll see exactly what we get out of all of this. Don't forget, we have a number of extreme heat safety tips on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, including a graphic that helps break down the warning signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion versus heat stroke. Heat stroke is much more serious, can be potentially deadly. Heat exhaustion can escalate, so you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on that because either of those are possible today with heat exhaustion likely with these very high heat index values. It looks nice out there from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. Doesn't feel that way though. 80 in Joplin, feels like 84, dew point 71, south-southwest breeze at 15, gusting to 24, so another breezy day again. As we look at temperatures, the majority of us upper 70s to right around 80 degrees, and then we look at these dew points, which are just nasty to look at, but we've got low, mid, and even upper 70-degree dew points out there, putting us at muggy, soupy, and beyond in terms of how uncomfortable it feels, and that's got those heat index values for most of us already in the low to mid 80s. As we get our morning underway, again, partly cloudy skies. We'll keep an eye on showers out west, but the majority of us will be dry, and we'll go upper 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. That's ahead of, again, highs at upper 90s, lower 100s across the region with those partly cloudy skies. No relief from the heat this evening either as we stay back into the mid 80s by 10, near 80 for our low again tonight, and again, maybe an isolated shower or storm, but the majority of us will be dry. And I'll continue again into our Thursday, 100 degrees for the high on average. Some of us will be a little hotter, some of us a wee bit below that. And the dangerous heat continues. No real relief for the next 10 days on this forecast as we go upper 90s rather, lower 100s with some storm chances next Thursday and Friday. That's checking your forecast. Now here's Elise with Health Watch.
Thanks. Well, nearly a third of adolescents received mental health treatment in 2023. According to a survey from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, 8.3 million children 12 to 17 years old are getting counseling, medication, or another treatment, an increase of more than 500,000 kids from 2022. Routine blood tests can help diagnose cancer in people with stomach pain or bloating. British researchers found patients who received abnormal results from one of 19 commonly used tests were more likely to be diagnosed with cancer within a year. Bowel cancer was most common, followed by prostate cancer for men and breast cancer for women. Well, a new study suggests adults have more friends than recent surveys have suggested. A study by Colorado State University researchers followed nearly 6,000 Americans. They found Americans average 4 or 5 friends, while 2% say they are friendless. Those numbers are in line with the data going as far back as 1970. Well, a unique experience popping up at more animal shelters across the country is letting volunteers take pups out on field trips. The outings are helping to bolster their chances of being adopted while also bringing along health benefits for the animals and their temporary caregivers. Ted Lindner has the story.
Turns out helping man's best friend can also do a whole lot of good for mankind.
Okay.
A growing number of animal shelters nationwide are encouraging volunteers to take dogs out of their kennels and on special field trips to parks, beaches, and beyond.
Once a week we come up here and we take a dog out for about 2.5 hours.
At St. Hubert's Animal Welfare Center in New Jersey, staff say these outings offer dogs a critical chance to get exposure to the outside world. Volunteers fill out mini report cards after each excursion, giving insight into things like how the pups performed on car rides and their behavior around other dogs and with children. According to data from the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, roughly 3.1 million dogs enter U.S. animal shelters every year. But these doggy field trips can actually help increase a pup's chances of getting a forever home.
Many of the dogs that go on field trips do end up getting adopted, and there's some data that shows that they get adopted at a higher rate.
Animal welfare experts also point to data that shows how breaks from shelter life help to reduce a dog's stress levels. This while also providing emotional wellness to volunteers.
We love animals, and we love helping the animals, and they help us.
And they make you feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, all those kisses she gives you.
St. Hubert's conducts about 2,300 adoptions a year. At least half of those animals went on at least one field trip.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, a local fire department is getting a little boost to help buy new equipment.
And we've got an alert day today and into tomorrow for that dangerous heat continuing across the area. Well, look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Carthage Water and Electric Plant cuts the ribbon on a project bringing more reliable power to the city.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So again, we have an alert day today and it continues into tomorrow.
Yes.
Due to the dangerous heat across the area. I know a lot of folks are definitely feeling the effects of that. It is unpleasant to say the least.
Yeah. That's putting it lightly. It's unbearable. I couldn't even go outside yesterday. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Sure you didn't want to either.
We spend the first half of our day, here, and then when we leave at about 12:30ish, we walk out that door, and boy, it's bad.
Yep.
And so that's why we don't recommend going outdoors. Stay inside if you can. If you have to be outside, just make sure you're taking appropriate precautions. And we've got a good list of safety precautions on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We're also keeping an eye on scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now, right now, we've got that strong thunderstorm complex that's rolling northeast toward Emporia. It is unfortunately really only bringing some light showers to parts of Greenwood County. However, it has triggered some new showers that have begun to develop in parts of Elk and Chautauqua County. Nothing strong, nothing severe, not even thunderstorm activity, but we're going to see whether or not this can trigger any additional pop-up showers and storms, or if this that it's triggering now ends up fizzling out pretty quickly. Because as we take a look, so this is that activity. We even had a severe thunderstorm warning with it earlier this morning. It's lifting off to the north and to the east. We're getting new development south of it, but you can see how quickly it's kind of flaring up and also fizzling back down. And that's why our rain chances today really less than 10% at this point. We do have the excessive heat warnings across the bulk of the area. Heat index values in these zones up to 115 degrees. And if you're in the heat advisory, still 105 to 110 degree heat index values still possible. Future track, again, just partly to mostly cloudy skies here and there. Will clear out by the afternoon and maybe an isolated shower or two. But again, the chance is less than 10%. Anything we see today really isn't going to be much of anything at this point. We're looking at 80 in Joplin right now, 78 in Pittsburgh, and around the area, temperatures an unpleasant start already, upper 70s to right around 80 degrees across the area. And you factor in the humidity and dew point, we already have heat index values this early in the morning, low to mid 80s, ahead of those 115 degree readings we're expecting or could reach later today. Partly cloudy through the day, highs once again again, upper 90s, some lower 100s out there for sure. We'll have the possibility of seeing some of those heat index values reaching 115 degrees. We'll have another look at your forecast, talk about this dangerous heat and how the weekend is shaping up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. The state of Oklahoma has a sales tax holiday coming up this weekend. What this means for shoppers in the Sooner State is retail taxes will not be collectible or payable on certain purchases. Specifically, any article of clothing or footwear under $100 per item this weekend will be tax-free. Shoppers can shop online or at retail locations. Oklahoma's sales tax holiday runs from Friday through Sunday. Well, Carthage is celebrating the prospect of more reliable electric power. A ribbon cutting at the Carthage Water and Electric Plant marks the completion of a project aimed at reducing power outages. Officials say the 69 kilovolt transmission line renovations will help them keep the power on for the thousands of customers they serve.
What this does is help stabilize, reinforce, provide a good foundation to our electrical network so that in the event someone wants to move to Carthage, bring their large business in to Carthage, we have the capacity to continue to serve it.
During the ceremony, the plant also recognized a pair of retirees who worked on the original transmission line back in 1961. Crawford County Mental Health yesterday cut the ribbon on a new location for their children's services. The ceremony featured a newly renovated office on Broadway in Pittsburgh and a meet and greet with the staff. Visitors had a chance to learn about children's services available to the community, as well as new youth mental health and crisis services.
Over the last year, we've grown considerably for the amount of clients that we've seen, clients we've worked with. We've developed great partnerships with local partners, schools, different things like that have been great in working with us. And I think as a result of those partnerships and our expansion of services, we've seen more clients come seeking what we're able to provide.
The children's services are now at 710 North Broadway. A local fire department is getting a little boost courtesy of the win indirectly. Crawford County, Kansas commissioners have voted to help the Hepler Fire Department pay for a fire truck using money received from the Jayhawk Wind Farm in Hepler.
They have their own struggles just like any other community. They're living in the midst of wind farm right now, and the money we get in payment in lieu of taxes, not tax money, but in lieu of taxes, to try to help that community that embrace that wind farm.
Commissioners voted to provide nearly $36,000 from the wind farm fund to help pay for a fire truck replacement. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Federal regulators have expanded the recall of Boar's Head deli meats over concerns of a link to a deadly listeria outbreak. And dangerous heat continues. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, authorities in Pennsylvania say a man is facing charges including false imprisonment after he went into a convenience store and claimed to be an inspector. Surveillance video captured the unusual situation. Mike Valente has details.
So everybody comes in the back. It was a normal day at work for employees at Brownsville Beer until it wasn't. You stay right here. No. Stay right here where I can see you. Wearing a badge and an official-looking shirt, Donald Blanchard can be seen patiently waiting in line before it's his turn to approach the counter. And so begins this strange story. Police say Blanchard demanded a store employee show him the store's business license and every single employee's ID. The employee behind the register said Blanchard demanded the store be closed. Employees complied. So what was this all about? A criminal complaint for Blanchard alleges he was accusing employees of selling tobacco to minors, something the store's owner denied to Pittsburgh's Action News 4. I haven't seen footage. But regardless of the circumstances, Blanchard was not tasked with investigating such a matter. That's according to police, who charged him with impersonating a public servant.
Everybody to the back. Hello? 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 Let's go.
Another camera towards the back of the store shows even more confounding behavior. Police say Blanchard was ushering employees to the back room.
To the back! To the back! To the back! To the back! To the back!
Blanchard now also charged with false imprisonment. Police officers eventually arrived at the store, but even in their presence, Blanchard can be seen and heard confronting a store employee.
Federal regulators have expanded the recall of Boar's Head deli meats over concerns of a link to a deadly listeria outbreak. Another 3,500 tons of meat and poultry products have been recalled, with sell-by dates ranging from July 29th to October 17th. More than 30 people have been sickened in the outbreak. 2 have died. Consumers who have the recalled products are urged to throw them out or return them to the place of purchase and should thoroughly clean their refrigerators to prevent possible cross-contamination. The Biden administration is taking on a commercial freight company over Amtrak delays. The Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit alleging that Norfolk Southern Railroad violated federal law that requires that Amtrak trains get priority on the tracks. The passenger train service uses rails that are owned by the company, and Norfolk Southern told the Associated Press that it's committed to following the law and hopes to resolve the concerns. And Krispy Kreme has a sweet deal and new Go USA donuts to celebrate Team USA at the Olympics. Today, customers can enjoy any donut for just $1 while supplies last. Tomorrow, Krispy Kreme's rewards members can also get a dozen original glazed for $1. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to start with a look outside this morning, something we have not done as of yet. This is our camera on the Cornell Complex. Got a few clouds in Joplin, a little bit on the hazy side. It's already on the muggy side out there as the sun rises on another hot day. Great shot of that sunrise, though, from our camera at 7th and Range Line. Just a nice little combination of colors. Looks pretty nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel that way. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, also looking pretty good. We got mostly clear skies out there. We do have this thunderstorm complex that's now rolling toward Emporia, just barely scraping parts of Greenwood County. And then it tried to set off some additional showers down here around Elk and Chautauqua County. But as you can see, if you were with us even just 15 minutes ago, these are already dying out. And so that's why, again, our overall chances of rain today, less than 10%. We just got this complex. It flared up. Was trying to roll east, stopped, started rolling northeast, and at this point, other than a few showers in our far northwestern counties, not expected to do much for us. We do have the excessive heat warnings again continuing today. Now, some of these set to expire this evening. They're planned to be replaced with heat advisories, so we'll see exactly how that pans out. But as for today, again, dangerous heat. Heat index values up to 115 degrees within the warnings and 105 to 110 degrees within the heat advisory areas. As we look at the future track, other than some clearing skies here and there and maybe a stray shower or two, we are going to be dry, hot, and muggy once again. We're going to have a full look at your forecast, talking about this dangerous heat heading into the weekend. We're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries here in just a moment. But first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, another fascinating interview by Anthony Mason as he sits down with the legendary singer-songwriter Shania Twain. They'll talk about her amazing music career and what she plans to do next. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays in the 4 states. We're starting in Liberty, Kansas with Ryler O'Brien celebrating birthday number 3. Happy birthday.
And a happy birthday to Zadie O'Brien there, pictured with her brother Rylan over in Liberty, Kansas, turning 6 today. Happy birthday to the both of you.
This is what happens when you don't read ahead. I didn't even happen to catch that it's brother and sister sharing the same birthday.
Yes, how fun.
Special is that? Well, we've also got Trey Stephen Fosdick in Jasper celebrating birthday number 4. Happy birthday.
And over in Frontenac, Chris Reynolds celebrating birthday number 31. Happy birthday.
And Robert Norris celebrating birthday number 41. Says Mom and Dad, Grandma, and the family wishing you a happy birthday.
Back over in Frontenac, happy 45th birthday to Matt Evans. It says happy birthday, Matt, from all your family.
And in Nevada, Chris Cluck celebrating birthday number 58. Happy birthday.
And over in Fairland, Oklahoma, happy 90th birthday to Gene Shoemaker. It says 90th birthday wishes from his 5 children and 10 grandchildren.
And John and Mary Bishop in Pittsburgh celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. A very happy anniversary to the Bishops.
And our very own Ron Gudgeon is celebrating his birthday, and he is one of our news content producers who does the 6 and 10 on the evening side, and he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Oh yeah, Ron was the one, you probably heard me mention him. He's the one who used to always make the morning show coffee, and I'm telling you, there's no coffee quite like Ron's coffee.
Well, now he's does it on the evening side,
yeah,
and I've had it, and it's pretty good.
Keep this building going, and Ron certainly does
Absolutely.
that. So happy birthday, Ron. Moving on, we've got Billy Hall in Columbus celebrating a birthday. It says happy birthday and happy retirement. Talk about a special day.
Oh,
happy
absolutely.
birthday, Billy.
Celebrate that. And happy 99th birthday to Dorothy Cowlin. It says mother of 5, granny of many grandchildren and great-grandchildren, loved by many. Happy birthday, Granny.
And we've got Melvin Huffman in Weir celebrating birthday number 90. It says all his family and friends would like to wish him a very happy birthday. Well, what a special list of birthdays and anniversaries it seems that we had today. We want every day to be special because we want your day to be special.
Yes,
and to make it even more special, you could celebrate with us. Elise, how do they do that?
Yes, go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. When you're submitting your celebration, be sure to include the actual day so that we can ensure that we're celebrating you on the correct day.
Absolutely. Let's start now with the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and regrettably, those little showers we were talking about, Elk, Chautauqua County, yeah, they are beginning to just kind of fizzle back out. They were part of this. They were setting off from the southern end of this complex of strong storms rolling up toward Emporia, but unfortunately, it's really about it. We have overall today less than 10% chance of any kind of pop-up shower activity, but you can see it tried to get going, and then it just kind of stopped. So we'll keep an eye on it, though, because the complex is still close enough. It could trigger some additional redevelopment of maybe a stray shower or storm. So we'll watch that. But again, otherwise, the majority of us are going to be dry throughout the day today. Future track by this evening, maybe 1 or 2 possible showers out there. That's really about it. 98% of us are going to be dry, hot, and muggy. We go into tomorrow, though, by early morning, could start to see a few scattered showers and storms in our northern counties. Now, what's going to happen is these are dying out, and they're going to leave behind some energy that could trigger some brief redevelopment, maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm as we head into the afternoon, but then that will kind of dry out and leave us even muggier. And that's the problem we've had with these rain complexes the last couple of days is, like yesterday, we got some great rain into parts of southeast Kansas, but as that system died out, all it did was shift that humidity off to the east, and it made it even hotter, even muggier off to the east with no rain to be seen. Thursday night, and again, another stray shower or storm will be possible. And then we have a thunderstorm complex. Now, we're looking to just get skirted by it into parts of northeastern Oklahoma, but by early Friday morning, could see a couple of stray showers and storms down there. And again, the rest of us will remain dry and hot. We have our alert days today and tomorrow for this. We have these excessive heat warnings across the region, most of our counties. Some of these are set to expire this evening to be replaced by heat advisories. But again, depending on the forecast data, we'll see exactly how that pans out. But for now, if you're in the excessive heat warning zone, then you're talking heat index values up to 115 degrees. And if you're in the heat advisory, that's not as extreme as the heat warning, but still dangerous. Heat index values could be 105 to 110 degrees. So you've still got to take it safe out there. Don't forget a number of extreme heat safety tips on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. With these heat index values up to 115, we're at that heat exhaustion likely, heat stroke is possible, and we have a great graphic on our website as well that explains the signs, symptoms of each of these and what the differences are. Heat stroke, much more serious than heat exhaustion, but that could turn into heat stroke if you don't take precautions. Quick look at temperatures. We are at 80 in Joplin, feeling like 84, dew point 71, and a south-southwest wind gusting upwards of 24. Temperatures out there this morning, excuse me, upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. And we've got those dew points again into the low, mid, and even upper 70s out there. And that's giving us heat index values already this morning in the low to mid 80s as we get this day started. We'll be partly cloudy. Again, we'll keep an eye on those showers out west, but they aren't expected to do much of anything for us. And we'll be about 88 by 11 o'clock this morning. We're having another look at your forecast and the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., a Kansas City man with a congenital heart defect is given a chance to meet the man who saved his life.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. 44-year-old Amber Waterman of Pineville, Missouri, pleaded guilty to 1 count of kidnapping resulting in the death of Ashley Bush and 1 count of causing death of a child in utero. Bush was 31 weeks pregnant when she was lured to a meeting with Waterman in Maysville, Arkansas in October 2022. Waterman now faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison without parole for each death. Families in rural Kansas will have access to reliable internet. A $950,000 grant has been awarded to provide broadband access in Allen and Coffee counties. It's intended to allow for telehealth, online education, and remote work in more rural communities. The service should be set up in Allen County by the middle of 2025. The state of Oklahoma will not be collecting sales tax this weekend. This means that retail taxes will not be collectible or payable on certain purchases, specifically any article of clothing or footwear under $100 per item. Shoppers can shop online or at a retail location. Oklahoma's sales tax holiday runs from Friday through Sunday. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, already warm and muggy. Alert day today and tomorrow. Heat index values again today up to 115 degrees. Partly cloudy skies, highs upper 90s, lower 100s. Partly cloudy through the evening. No major relief. Maybe an isolated shower or storm late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Our lows right around 80. We could get a little wave to provide a couple of additional pop-up showers and storms in the first half of our Thursday, but still hot and humid and most of us still dry. And take a look at this, though. No relief from the heat for the next several days. Upper 90s, lower 100s, and maybe a few stray storm chances toward the end of next week.
Alrighty. Coming up today at noon, we're making slow cooker baked ziti in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Marion Days brings tens of thousands of visitors to Carthage, Missouri. We're going to see how guests are being housed during the celebrations.
Plus, Carrie Lance and Francisco Castaneda join us in the studio for another Wildcat Wednesday. However, it's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.